All right.
That's a nice jacket. Is that Peter
Thanks.
Manning?
This is Gant.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Peter Manning polo.
Nice.
What about chinos?
Uniqlo?
Ah, same.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They make good chinos.
Oh, yeah, I love it. They're so comfortable. These
Yeah.
are the stretch, ultra stretch.
Yeah. I like how they have a lot of different fits, too. Like, they have the slim, they have the straight, they have the skinny or whatever.
What is it, like slim taper or something?
Yeah, some taper.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, buddy.
I think that was good. That's probably it. Yeah.
See you guys later. What's up, fellas? Welcome back to Effortless Gent. Today, I'm here with my buddy Brock from Modest Man.
What's going on? All right. Well, what I wanted to know is when we were hanging out in Atlanta, we were talking about like how much to spend on things, and even like when we recommend different items to viewers, like how much, like what price points basically to recommend. And I think that we're both kind of have the same philosophy that like when you really like something, like olive chinos for example,
Yeah.
it makes sense if you have to spend a little more to get like a better version or even like the best version that you can find. At this point in life, at least, like it makes sense to do that. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we had this conversation, which I thought was really interesting. And I think it comes down to where you are, like in your style journey, right? Like, so, you know, Brock and I, we've been messing with our style and trying new things for probably years. Me, at least since I was 12, right? So I have, 23 years of messing around with my style and trying new things. So at this point, like, I really know what I like, and I know what works for my body type, and I know what works for my skin, all that stuff, and I know what I prefer. So at this point, I like to buy things, when I can, I like to buy things that are a little bit better in quality, which obviously is going to cost a little bit more. And I can be more discerning with, let's say, where it's made or the type of material it's made from. So I think a good example of that would be like the white sneakers that we were talking about. Like you did a video on that recently, right? Did you? Where you were trying on different sneakers that are just like white.
Yeah, I did something on Instagram. Yeah, like basically like common projects and like some of those like higher end brands. And I know there's a lot of like, is it worth it type videos out there, but it's a good question, because $400 for a pair of sneakers when you could get like Stan Smiths or something for a lot cheaper. But I've noticed that like you don't always get what you pay for necessarily. Like you definitely sometimes pay. I mean, you always pay for like a retail markup if it's sold not direct to consumer. You pay for the brand, obviously. Like even if you look at the price of common projects a few years ago compared to now, they're way more expensive.
Right.
But they are way better in almost every way than Adidas Stan Smiths, So you're kind of getting what you pay for.
Yeah, and I think a good example too is like we were looking at he was looking at two brands. It was Oliver Cabell, right, and Koyo, I think that's pronounced.
Right, yeah.
The price point difference, I think it was like 180 or something like that to 280, right?
Yeah, about. Yeah.
But you can feel the difference in the leather and just the quality of the shoe itself. So I think you're paying a little bit more for something like a Koyo. That level, when you kind of jump up to the next level of pricing, it's not always. I think the misconception is that it's just a brand thing. They just want to charge more, but that's not necessarily true. I think what it is a lot of stuff goes into building a really quality pair of shoes or a really great pair of denim. The materials, where it's made, all that stuff kind of plays into the price. And so when you jump up to that next level of pricing, it's not just for a brand name. I'm sure part of it is, but a lot of it has to do with the quality of the materials and the way it was built. So and obviously, like if we can feel the difference of like the leather, if we can just tell how that feels, then that already makes a big difference. And if you're wearing the shoes all the time, that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, even if you're just like totally practical and like only really thinking about money, like if you just look at price per wear, like if you have a leather shoe that's first of all higher quality leather and it has a stitched sole, instead of a glued sole, it's gonna last longer. Like guaranteed, it's gonna last longer. So if you look at price per wear, a lot of times you're paying the same or even saving money by going a little higher end. But I think one of my pet peeves is like whenever. And I think for our channels, like we probably have a similar audience in that like we're not recommending like super luxury stuff, but like splurge when you can. But I think a lot of people, they see like a higher price point and they say that's overpriced. And I think there's a big difference between overpriced and expensive, because a lot of times something is maybe too expensive for me to buy, but it doesn't mean that it's overpriced, because that kind of implies that the brand is like ripping you off or charging too much for their product.
Right.
But if you think about like what goes into a pair of leather sneakers or even like a shirt, how that shirt got to you all the way from the beginning, from the mill, from the cotton mill, so much went into it. So many people touched it. So, to pay $100 for a shirt, to me, doesn't seem overpriced. It just seems expensive.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And also, like, you also have to think. Okay, so this is why going back to where I started was, depending on where you are in your style journey, this is going to matter to you or it's not going to matter to you, right? So if you're just figuring things out, like let's say, oh, you've never worn a pair of white sneakers before and you don't know if you want to spend $500 on a pair of Common Projects or whatever, you can buy cheaper versions of white sneakers just to test it out and see if you even like the look, right? And then get comfortable with that thing. And this is exactly what me and Brock do. Like, we try something new in our style and then we're like, okay, we test it out. We test it out for a month or maybe a year longer just to make sure that we actually like it. We get a lot of wear out of it. And then after that, you know, then once my thing is worn out, I'm gonna upgrade it to something better, right?
Yeah.
Exactly like the same case with the sneakers. Like, you can buy a pair of Stan Smiths that are $100, and then if you realize you like it, then you can invest in a better quality version later on. Once you realize, like, hey, this is a part of my wardrobe that I'm gonna wear all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, buy the kind of entry level version of it, and like, you know, for clothes, a lot of times, like, I'll go to like H&M, you know, and just kind of see what's new, and you know, if there's something that's kind of trendy, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, you know, buy the cheap version, and if you like it, like, wear it out, you know, I mean, you know, wear holes in it, and then upgrade to the best quality you can afford of that item.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I do the same exact thing. I buy stuff from H&M. Sometimes I even look at Forever 21. They have stuff that's more fashionable and trend forward. And if it's something that I'm curious about that I want to try out, I might buy that thing and then just wear it around, see if I like it. If I don't, I lose out on, I don't know, $20, and I have a garment that I can't wear anymore. It's fine. But I didn't invest like $300 into some shirt that I thought I might like and I never wore it. So definitely start cheap if you want to try a trend or try something that you've never tried before. Even if it's not a trend, that's fine. And then when you're ready to upgrade, go ahead and upgrade. Yeah, not a big deal.
Have you splurged on anything recently?
Oh man, recently. I did. I got a leather jacket that I really loved. So I've always wanted this leather biker jacket. I'm actually going to do a video on this, how to like wear a leather biker jacket. But I've always wanted this jacket for a long time. It's from All Saints, and it's relatively expensive. It's like $600-700, but I already knew I wanted it. I've been thinking about it for like 3 years. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy it. But actually, I tricked it because I went on Grail first, and I happened to find a model that I really wanted. Okay. And so it was on Grail. So it was like slightly used, but honestly, like the guy wore it like maybe 5 times. Yeah. I bought it for $200.
That's awesome.
It's a $700 jacket. So I mean, those are like the little tips and tricks that you can like. You don't have to pay full price for a new garment all the time. There's places like Grail. There's places like eBay if you're a good hunter. Yeah. There are places out there where you can buy really great garments for not that expensive. And something like a jacket, like this dude's like, he didn't fart in this jacket, or his balls didn't touch this jacket, hopefully. So I think it's okay. I'm not buying underwear on Grail or anything. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's an outerwear piece, so I think it's okay. You know? Yeah.
And on Grail, I feel like most people on there like kind of have a respect for their clothing, like especially the higher end stuff. You know?
They take care of their stuff, and you know, as long as you kind of read reviews, just like eBay, read reviews, like talk to the guy. I messaged the guy for a little bit. I asked him about the piece, and he just didn't wear it anymore. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take that.
Nice. Yeah, that's a steal, man. That's awesome,
dude. Hell yeah, it's great. And so I think, because I didn't have to buy a cheaper version of that, because I already had thought about this for a while. I went to the store, tried it on a few times, and I literally delayed my purchase for like 2 years. I'm like, I don't know if I want it, I don't know. And then one day I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this because I really want that jacket. So that's what I did. And then now I have it. So, how about you? Have you splurged on anything?
Recently, actually, like just before this trip, I got a pair of, I don't know how to say, is it Orlebar Brown? Orlebar Brown swim trunks. And because I've been wearing the same pair of swim trunks from the Idleman for like a while, like a couple of years, and I only have like at the same time like maybe 2 pairs of swim trunks, and they fit pretty well, but like the swim trunks, they loosen up, and and I was like, so I told myself like when these wear out, like I'm gonna upgrade to like the best version of swim trunks that I can find, and I kept I read about it, and I kept hearing that like Orlebar Brown is like really tapered and like really high quality, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and so I got a pair. It was like, I think it was from their sales section, so it was like not as expensive as their brand, as their like new season stuff, but it was still, for swim trunks, like you could get like 10 pairs of H&M swim trunks for that price, So I just got those, and I mean, my initial thoughts is like, yes, they're worth it. Right. But I'll be testing them out, this summer.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, again, like, it's funny, you can really upgrade the most basic things. Like, you can upgrade your t-shirts, like, it's just a matter of trying things out and then figuring out what you like and you want to invest in.
Totally, yeah.
But I think related to that would be a really interesting topic, is if you step back a few steps and say, hey, if I were a new guy getting into style, like, how do I get used to this thing? Or how do I even try new trends when I'm not really comfortable? Do you have any tips for those guys?
Yeah, That is a little tough, but I would say, I mean, definitely don't spend a ton of money. Even if you have money, like, don't spend a lot of money before you know what you like. But I think, like, one of the shortcuts is, like, find somebody, like, it could be, like, Baron's Instagram, you know, or like, a celebrity, or, like, somebody who really resonates with you, like, their aesthetic really resonates with you, and then just look for versions of, you know, because they'll probably, you'll notice, like, a pattern, you know, like, oh, like, they always wear, like, white sneakers and olive chinos and, like, light blue or gray on top. So you can kind of, like, start to build a little, like, starter wardrobe around that. And I would say at the beginning, I know we say this all the time, but, like, really, put some money aside for tailoring, you know, and, like, find a local tailor and just, you know, go to H&M or you know, get your basics on Grailed or wherever, and take that extra money and then get it tailored. And I think once you realize, like, how you like stuff to fit and, like, what colors you like wearing, then you can start to make these intentional upgrades that we're talking about.
Yeah, totally. I think one thing too that I've learned over the years is, like, when I want to try something new and I'm not used to it yet, I really just have to kind of sit with it and just wear the thing, even if it's just around the house, to get used to feeling, like, comfortable in this thing. So, like, this jacket I bought, for example, like, I wasn't used to it when I first got it because I never had this silhouette before. It's a shorter jacket. It's like slim. And I was like, oh, can I really wear this? And I was, like, doubting myself for a little bit.
Right.
I just wear it around the house for, like, a couple days. I'm like, okay. And then after a while, like, I'm sitting at my computer, I'm, like, working and stuff. And then after a while, I realized, like, oh, I'm totally used to this fit and feel. Yeah. And I think it's just a matter of, like, really us getting used to things. And that's really how you sort of evolve your style, is, like, trying new things. Totally. And you know, if you're not comfortable yet, like, going out there, going outside into the real world with your new style or your new shirt or whatever it is, literally just wear it around the house for a few days, you know? Yeah. But really, like, get into it. And because I think eventually you're going to realize if you do like it, it'll just start to feel sort of natural. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. Yeah,
you can take, like, baby steps, like, where it's the grocery store, you know, like, somewhere super low pressure, like, don't take it on vacation or something.
Yeah,
you know?
Don't make it your main piece if you're taking a 3-day vacation. Just, like, if you're getting gas or something or going to the grocery store, put that thing on, then it's fine. It'll be totally fine.
Yeah. I felt that way about, like, Chelsea boots. Like, when I first started wearing Chelsea boots, I was like, these are, like, a little different than what I'm used to. I was used to work boots, you know.
Yeah, same here.
But now they're like socks, you know. They're just like I love them.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Travis the other day. Travis is one of our friends. He has a great Instagram, actually. It's like Trav_white_. If you guys are looking for, like, outfit inspiration, he has really dope fashion Instagram. But we were talking yesterday about the Thursday boots, Chelsea's, the Dukes or whatever.
The Dukes. Yeah.
He has the pair in suede. And he's like, you know, when I first got these, I don't know if I could wear them. He's like, but now I wear them, like, the only kind of boots I wear. You know, he wears that specific pair, like, all the time.
Yeah, it's funny because now, like, when I think of him, I think of those boots.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, suede Chelsea boots, basically.
Yeah. So something that you might initially not be comfortable with, and it's something that you want to try, eventually it becomes something that's a piece of you and people recognize you for it. So, I mean, that's kind of how you also evolve your style, is just trying new things, you know, wearing them a lot. You know?
Yeah, and I think also, like, no one is, like, keeping track of what you wear. Like people don't have, like, an image in their head of, like, what you usually wear. So I think a lot of times we go out, like, wearing something new, and, you know, like, say, like, a new pair of glasses or something, and you like, feel it, and you're like, oh, God, like, everybody's probably, like, you know, looking at me right now, but, like, no one cares that much about, like, what we're wearing, you know? Yeah, exactly. So I think it's probably more jarring, like, internally than it is for anybody else.
Yeah, I think we're all in our own heads a lot. And, you know, we've been talking about style for years. And even I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. I still feel self-conscious sometimes when I wear new things, or if I don't know if something's working for me. Like, and I think that's just natural. You know, got to get used to it.
Yeah,
try stuff out.
Definitely. What about, like, wearing the same thing? I feel like I've worn, like, the same thing pretty much for, like, a couple months now, and, like, I'm cool with it, but
yeah, I think that's another thing too, is, like, when you're, like, getting into style, you feel overwhelmed. I talk about this a lot. Like, you feel overwhelmed and you think you have to, like, go to, like, from 0 to 100, like, right away. You have to always have, like, cool new outfits. And I think, like, social media kind of makes us think we have to always be dressing differently and stuff. But honestly, like, I wear the same stuff all the time. I wear the sweater all the time. I wear these chinos a lot, you know? And it's like, I have a uniform, you know? I have a personal uniform that I basically always stick to. And there's, like, variations here and there, like maybe jeans instead of chinos, or, you know, a white shirt instead of a chambray or whatever. But I generally wear the same pieces all the time. I think too, like, that comes with just, like, being older and already having tried all these trends and styles and trying new things. And it kind of feels good to settle into a style that you like, that you feel comfortable wearing, that looks sharp. It's like, you know, it's not like I'm not wearing sweats or anything. Like this is just like a comfortable outfit for me. And I think uniforms are great. And I think guys don't, they feel like, oh, it's kind of bad to wear the same thing over and over. That's not true at all. Like I wear the same stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Yeah. I've pretty much worn the same thing for like, the same basic thing for the past like month or so, you know, I mean like variations of it, but, and it makes getting dressed really easy. It makes packing really easy. Like if you're going somewhere, I think one thing that's kind of interesting is like your kind of like self-image changes over time, you know, I mean, as you get older, you change jobs or relationships or whatever. And like I used to really identify with like the preppy aesthetic, you know?
Yeah.
And like I'd feel totally comfortable and like cool in, you know, like a colorful polo and like boat shoes and, you know, like a woven belt. And like now if I wear that, I feel like really uncomfortable. Like it's not me, you know? And, you know, I'm a little older now. And so, and I think the crazy thing is I know that'll change again.
Yeah.
Like I know in 10 years I'll feel different, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think that's okay. And you gotta, you know, just embrace that and kind of go with it.
Yeah, I think that's part of the evolution too. Like I look at photos of myself from even just 5 years ago, and I'm like, I would never wear that stuff today. You know?
Yeah.
And it's really weird because it's only 5 years ago. That wasn't that long ago, and it's not like my style has changed that much. But there were just like little things that I've improved with my own look that I like better.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I'm never gonna wear that combination again. Or like I used to do the prep style too. Like I loved colorful polos and web belts and all that stuff, and I don't know, I just don't wear that stuff anymore. And so, yeah, you're going to have to be comfortable with your style always changing. And I think the whole point of, like, what I talk about a lot is, you know, a lean wardrobe. This lean wardrobe idea is, it's not about minimalism necessarily or having as few pieces as possible. It's more about, like, using everything that you have and, like, making use of the clothes that you own. Like, don't just keep stuff to keep stuff.
Yeah.
Get rid of it if you're not using it, right? And then really love the stuff that you're wearing. And then if you're not wearing something, just replace it with something that you will wear. Or even don't buy anything yet. Just stick with what you have, and then you can think and reassess and say, oh, you know what, I really need a great, like, casual blazer, right? And so let me start looking at pieces I can get, you know, for that specific thing. So it's, you know, I think there's like a way to sort of keep a lean wardrobe, but still always have some, your look can always change and you can evolve as a guy who cares about his style.
I think for like a lot of guys want to approach style very like systematically and logically, you know, which makes sense, but sometimes we want to put like a label, like my style is preppy or my style is street, you know?
Yeah.
And it's also, it's like music, like the genres are also blended together now that it's sometimes hard to kind of label, but if you had to, like, how would you describe your current aesthetic?
Man, I don't know. So I used to really identify with so my two like style inspirations, I think, and they still are, is like Ralph Lauren, which I really like. I just like how he looks great in a suit, but he wears like Western stuff too. Not that I wear Western stuff, but I like his like, he's able to sort of shift, you know, in his style. And I also really like Pharrell because he's super out there. He doesn't give a fuck about like what anyone thinks. He wears like women's Chanel jackets, right? Which is dope. Like I could never wear that, but just the fact that he's able to step out there and like do whatever he wants.
Crazy hats or whatever.
Yeah. And like I admire the ability to wear things that are like that. But as far as like how I let that work for me, I don't really know how to describe my style. It's like, it's casual, but it's still very like trim and tailored and sort of smart. But it also has like that urban aesthetic because I do live in cities, and you have to sort of adapt to the environment, right? So I've never worn black until I moved to New York. Literally everyone in New York wears black, all black everything. And
why is that?
I don't know. It's just like so chic. It's like, it looks great now. I'm realizing as longer I live there, but and so now I'm adopting all these black pieces. I have my black jacket now. I have a black pair of jeans that I always wear. But like 5 years ago, I never wear that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, like style changes, and I don't really know how to like label my style. And I think that's the beautiful thing. Like you could be preppy, right? You could be tailored, like suit and tie, or you could just have a mix of everything, and that's your style.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't really know. Do you have like a certain label for what you wear or like your style?
Not really, no. I mean, I think like an umbrella term is like minimal is kind of what I'm usually going for. Like kind of like I don't have a ton of patterns. I have mostly like solid colors.
Same here.
And when I do have patterns, it's like, you know, micro gingham, and it's like gray and white or something. Like it's pretty much a solid color, you know. It's not like a huge like stripe across shirt or something. But what's cool about that is if you have a lot of stuff that is like really bold and patterned, like it's cool because it's like a statement piece, like it makes you really unique. And I know a lot of people like they do want to use like the way they dress to like express themselves, and that's awesome. I find that like for me, I want to have a couple of those pieces. Like I have a couple of like short sleeve button ups that are like floral print and like, you know, they're a little louder than most stuff. And when I wear it, like I feel cool, like I'm standing out a little bit. But I don't want my whole wardrobe to be filled with that. Like, and I find that if you have basics, I like basics because then you can add one little pop and it kind of elevates your whole look. But still, everything I have is like super versatile and like interchangeable, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd say like minimal. Yeah, I'm trying to get like a little more into like the urban look with like the white sneakers and stuff, but still like, you know, elements of prep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So. How much does the change in your style, how much does that sort of play into the idea that you have to, like, you have a hard time finding stuff that will fit you as a man of modest height?
Yeah, I mean, less so these days, you know. I still get, I mean, I'm at the tailor once a month at least, you know, so I'm still there all the time.
Yeah.
But so it's, for me, it's a combination of like shopping at brands like Peter Manning that you don't need as much tailoring, or going to like a Uniqlo where you're getting like a lot of value for your money.
Yeah.
And then you can spend that extra, whatever, $20 to get your pants hemmed if you want to, you know.
Right.
And then with suits and stuff, there's so many custom options these days that like, you know, it's not as hard as it used to be to find stuff.
Right. Yeah. So do you have like top 3 or top 5 favorite brands for shorter guys or smaller guys in general that work really well for that body type?
Yeah, I mean, definitely if I had to pick one, it would be Peter Manning, only because like they have, well, their aesthetic is pretty close to what I wear, but also they have a whole range, which some of the other brands only have like shirts or something like that. So they have a whole range on their online. So if I had to pick one, that would be it. I really like Uniqlo too, just because I think for the money, you're just getting a lot of value there.
Totally. Even if you're not modest, man. Like, Uniqlo's great. I shop there all the time.
Yeah, and their stuff, like, they have so many different fits, and like I think since they have like Japanese roots, like it's just, I don't know, it's really high quality manufacturing, and their stuff tends to be a little trimmer too. I like the J. Crew aesthetic, but like I find that a lot of the stuff like is a little too long. You know? Like I wish I could wear more of the J. Crew stuff, but yeah, I can't really. So
okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Okay. Not hashtag not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, we'll do some negotiating after this video.
Right.
What are you wearing these days? Like 3 or 4 brands?
Yeah. So like we talked a lot about the basic sort of minimal aesthetic. I honestly do a lot of Uniqlo. That's probably my go-to as far as they have great basics. They have great t-shirts. Chinos are awesome. I do like, I've gotten into like the Levi's 541 recently because I'm not that small. I have more of an athletic bottom half, so I have to like find jeans that sort of fit me in the legs and also are still really tapered. Otherwise I have to size up. It's super annoying. And so what I got into the 541s because I can buy my actual size in my waist, and they fit, and then they still sort of fit my more muscular legs. So that was always a problem for me. So
and they're still like nice and tapered.
And they're still tapered, which is great. And that's, to me, that's really important. I like the look of like a tapered leg. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I still do Levi's. I still do really basic brands like Uniqlo, Levi's. I do a lot of J. Crew. Yeah, where do I shop nowadays?
Yeah, I know. Like, are there any other brands?
I'm sure there are a ton of brands out there. I'm not really a big shopper either. Like I like buying things and I just wear them a lot.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's shoes too, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
Wear a lot of it's like Allen Edmonds, like Thursday boots. I'm really liking the Koyos, these new Koyos. Yeah, these are pretty sweet. Yeah. That might be it.
We're terrible style guys. We don't know where to shop. That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what happens though. Like, I think once you kind of get into the groove of your style, it's like, okay, I know the stores that work for me, and I just buy those things, you know. And I'm cool with that, you know.
Yeah. Every now and then, I'll just order some like random stuff from a brand that I've never heard of, like just to see. But But yeah, it usually doesn't go like too well. Like it's usually not like mind blowing. Like, oh, I can't believe I didn't know about this brand. You know.
Right.
I think like Uniqlo was like the only experience I had where, because I tried it like back in the day, and then like I finally did like a huge like haul, like a Uniqlo haul, and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we should be sponsored by them.
Come on, Uniqlo, what's up?
Yeah, come on. I do want to try Japanese Uniqlo, like actual Japanese Uniqlo, because I've heard that their clothes are like a totally different fit.
Interesting.
And so actually someone in our Facebook group, the Modest Men Facebook group, ordered some stuff from, he had it somehow shipped here, like from the Japanese Uniqlo store, and he compared. He's like, here's what an extra small looks like from U.S. Uniqlo and Japanese. And he's a small guy, and the Japanese one fit him perfectly. Like the length was a little shorter, the sleeves were tapered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, the market is just different, right? So even though it's the same brand, they have to still cater to the specific market in Japan.
Right.
Those guys are smaller out there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it'd be fun to like go to Japan and just do like a huge shopping trip,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's sweet. All right, so quick wristwatch check. What do you got?
So I have this old. I don't know. Can I put that on the camera? Let's see. I don't know. Maybe not. There we go.
Oh, nice.
I have this old Seiko. It's a titanium perpetual calendar watch. So I actually got this. My uncle gave this to me when I was like 14 or something, and I've owned it since I was 14. So I'm 34 now, 20 years. And I've only changed the battery twice on this thing, which is really weird. So it's like, I just think it's really cool because I like the perpetual calendar feature. So what that is like, if it's February this month, for example, and it goes to March, I don't have to wind it when it hits the 28th day. It knows automatically that it's March.
That's awesome.
And so it goes to March 1st,
Yeah.
And then the next month it knows if it's a 30-day or a 31-day. So I just think that feature is cool. I just like the brand Seiko. And it's old. It's not anything special, but I've had it for so long. I think that's kind of what makes it special.
Yeah, it's a good size too. I like that.
Oh yeah, it's great. I like smaller watches too. I like what's this, like 36? Is that the size that we usually get? What do you get? 36?
I like 36 like a sweet spot. Like I'll wear 38 too. 34, 36 I think is like a sweet spot.
I'd love to talk to Christian about this, Theo and Harris, just because I think he likes smaller watches too. They should look good on wrists. They look more elegant. And,
they look awesome, yeah.
Like I don't like no offense to people who like fashion watches, but they're usually really big, like big plates on your. And I don't like that look. It's not elegant. It's not my style personally.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what are you wearing on your wrist?
Yeah, I have the. This is the linear. It's their automatic, so it's what is it, like a ETA 2824 or something. So it's like it's a Swiss movement, but still kind of entry level for automatics. And I think it's a 38 millimeter, but it wears pretty small. But yeah, it's just kind of like a nice minimal dress watch.
Yeah.
So like if I'm gonna bring one watch with me when I'm traveling, I'll usually bring this one or maybe like my Hamilton khaki. Like if it's like a casual trip.
Yep.
But yeah, I like the smaller watches, especially like my wrists are like just under 6.5 inches. So anything over, like I wouldn't wear like a 40 mil or bigger. Like that would just look way too big on my wrist. So yeah, I really like the trend of like watches kind of getting a little smaller now because I think for a while they were just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and then like vintage watches are like, I feel like becoming more popular. So do you have a like a Grail watch?
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. I think we were talking about this. Was I talking about this with you? Yeah, I think I was. My Grail watch is like the. This is so like 1995 of me. It's like it's like a solid gold Rolex Day-Date President. I love that bracelet.
Yeah.
It looks so obnoxious, but I just think that's like the coolest watch. Ever since I was a kid, like I always thought that watch was really cool, and I tried to buy like watches like that when I was younger, like that looked like it. And I still really love it. I also think it's a classic look, like just the President bracelet with the Day-Date. It's a Rolex. Like it's like for me, it's like a standard. Right?
Yeah.
It's solid gold. I mean,
who was saying like that's not a Rolex, that's a Rolly?
Yeah, right. What, that was that tan or something?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, like you might get robbed if you're wearing that watch.
Yeah.
So
probably don't wear that one when you're like traveling to somewhere sketchy.
Or you can get a lot of respect, I guess.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That we were saying like if you have a watch like that though, like. Your life has to be like in line with wearing a watch like that. Like you have to fly first class. Like you can't look at the prices on menus anymore.
Right.
Gotta wait till you get to that point,
But then you can also, I guess, wear sweats because you
that's
in
true.
an airport and you have a Rollie on. There's your dress up right there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a symbol for sure.
Do you have a Grail?
My current Grail is a Rolex, but I want a secondhand, like a vintage. Either Oyster Perpetual date or date just because I really like the date on the watch. Otherwise, I'd probably just go with like an OP or like an Explorer 1 maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking into that and trying to find a good price and everything. But I think that's like I don't know, for some reason like I was planning on kind of like working my way up to that watch, and I had like a few that I was gonna get at milestones and kind of work up to like the Rolex, but. I don't know. I just really, I think it's like such a versatile watch.
Yeah.
And like if you could only own one, that'd probably be a pretty good one.
Yeah, totally. And then you can dress that up. You can wear that with jeans, and it'll look great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any? How do you feel about like fashion watches in general? I think that's like a topic that people are sort of talking about. We don't have to get into that too much, but do you have any thoughts, like just general thoughts on the whole fashion watch thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a controversial topic, which is crazy because we're just talking about watches here, you know. But I think like, so I have a video, like I've done a couple promotions with like fashion watch brands, you know, and like I did something with the Fifth back when they were first launched. And at that time, like I wasn't into watches at all.
Yeah.
And I tried to wear some watches, and it just, I don't know, it didn't really work. And they sent, I forget what it was called, but it was like their black on black one. And it was the first watch that I started wearing every day. I was like, wow, this fits with my style, and I really like it. I got compliments on that watch, like more so than any Seiko or like anything else that I've had. And so I credit that brand with like getting me into watches.
Right.
And that's something that I think Seiko and Omega and Hamilton and Rolex, all these brands are failing to do. Like they're failing to get younger people into watches. And so I think like you got to give credit where credit's due. These brands like Danny Wellington, Movement, like love them or hate them, they are getting a lot of people into watches. And I think that once you're kind of bitten by the watch bug, then you start learning about different kind of movements and you start looking for mechanicals, you know. So that's kind of my thoughts. I don't really wear them, but I respect them for what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, if you're looking at it from an overall perspective, there's nothing wrong with wearing Daniel Wellington or Movement or the Fifth. And you could always evolve and get better, right? But I think like the watch community or people who are really into watches, they're like, they bash these brands so hard, like, oh, they're shit, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, they're not like grail watches, right? They're just like fun watches to wear. And I understand like at that price point, yeah, you probably could buy like something like a Seiko or something that's more like Timex even. That's like a more traditional brand. But whatever, like some guys just want, not standard watches. Some guys want like that look, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's just funny how people get so like bent out of shape.
People get so fired up about it. Yeah,
it's just a watch, man.
And it's even like with some of these new brands, like there are a lot of new brands that they care about the craftsmanship and the materials. I mean, I put Linear in that category. Like,
yeah, I agree.
They're not making the cheapest watch they can make. Like they're using mechanical, like Swiss mechanical movements. And a lot of people, they bash these new brands because they don't have heritage. And it's like, Rolex didn't have heritage at one point, you know?
Right.
And I get that, like, Rolex is what they are because, and first of all, they're amazing marketers and like amazing at branding, but they also like they helped watches evolve, like waterproof watches, and they came up with all this like quick set date, and so I think that I respect brands that are still doing that. They're still like trying to push the industry forward and not just trying to make money, I guess. But I also think that it's just because a company is new doesn't mean that they're not good. You know?
Right. I agree. So let's say someone watches this and they realize like they were about to buy a Daniel Wellington or something, or I don't know, Movement or something. They're like, oh, I don't want to buy it in the fashion watch category. What are some brands that we can recommend to them? I thought, off the top of my head, I was thinking like anything from like the Seiko line, like the SKX, like that line, or even like a basic Timex. I think looks really great. They have a lot of different, and both brands have so many different lines, so it's kind of up to you what you like. But I think those two brands off the top, as far as from a price comparison, I think that's kind of a good sort of starting point.
Yeah.
If you want to just get into watches, they have heritage. They're brands that are recognized and that are respected, and they've been around for a while. So
yeah.
I mean, is there any other brands besides that you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, I think Seiko is like the obvious one because like you just get a lot of value because they're so affordable, and you can get an automatic watch for like $50, which is crazy. I think like one of the ones that I got recently was the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical. So it's
nice.
A hand winding mechanical watch. It's from a brand that has a ton of history, like a really cool story if that's important to you, and I think that was like about $300. So a Swiss mechanical watch from a brand with heritage for $300. For me that's a steal. But again, like you got to think, do you care about heritage? Because you don't have to. Do you care if it's mechanical or quartz? Because in a lot of ways quartz is more convenient. So I think you got to figure out what's important to you, and then if you like it, if you love the way like Daniel Wellington looks, buy it. And don't worry about what watch people say.
Don't worry about don't even listen to us. Like just do what you want in life. Like that's what style's all about. Is just figuring out what you like to wear. Like get your tips and tricks and stuff, but then once like just wear whatever you want. Wear whatever watch you want. Like wear whatever kind of clothes you want. I don't care. I don't care about you.
Yeah, we don't care about you. No, we care deeply about you.
We love you. But yeah, don't listen to us. I mean, listen to us and then don't listen to us, right? Like, learn.
I mean, get the information, but don't
and then figure it out and do what you like.
Yeah. And I think a lot of like there was that Talking Watches episode with John Mayer, and I
love that one.
Yeah, it's so good. If you haven't seen it, like go check that out. But Ben from Hodinkee asked John Mayer, like, which watch did you regret buying? Like, did you make any watch buying mistakes? And he's like, yeah, like the first 10 I bought, like he wasn't, you evolve and you change. So
the first 10, that's hilarious.
Yeah, which is hilarious because his first 10 watches is like $250,000 worth of Rolex, But
that's a good one.
Yeah, but I think it's the same for anybody. I mean, I have a bunch of watches now in my drawer that I'm like, I'll probably, give these away or sell them or something.
Same here. Yeah. And then same thing with clothing. Like, I stick to the same 2 or 3 watches like every day,
Yeah.
I have this guy. I just recently revived this guy, so I started wearing him a lot. I have a linear watch that I really like. It has a tan strap. It's not the automatic, it's the other one, but I like the simplicity of the face. The dial is really nice.
Yeah.
And then I have my Rolex that's a Datejust. It's a vintage Datejust. So I have those 3 watches and I wear them pretty much all the time. I don't ever think about buying new ones because I like what I have,
Yeah.
And then maybe one day I'll want another watch. But yeah, I think it's really all about buying what you like and then just wearing that. Like, I know you wear your Hamilton like all the time and it's great.
Yeah, I wear it all the time. Same with, like, I have like a Seiko SKX 013, like their smaller SKX. I wear it all the time because and it's funny because that watch, and I think watches are kind of unique in this way, especially for men because we don't have a lot of jewelry. You can kind of like attach them to like parts of your life,
Yeah.
Like same with like fragrances or like you can kind of associate them almost like music with like a certain part of your life or maybe a certain vacation or something. So like for me, like that SKX, like even if one day I have a Rolex or something, like that watch is just special to me because it was the first like real watch, that I got, like the first mechanical, and it was kind of the one that like really, made me like fall in love with the mechanical watch and like the craftsmanship behind it and everything. So, no matter what, like I'm not going to get rid of that one.
Right.
I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good conversation.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
Let's do this more often.
We should do this more often. Cool. Yeah, I think we should maybe cut this off. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys again soon, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, in the next city. Yeah. Maybe do a meetup next time.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was fun. Any last final words to our little co-audience here?
No, just if you're still watching, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.